Hello everyone and welcome to my video lecture. So our topic for today is what is the difference between a closed circulatory system and an open circulatory system. Okay, so first of all let us start off with what exactly is a closed circulatory system. Okay, so the best example of a closed circulatory system can be us. Okay, so closed circulatory system is normally seen by higher animals. Okay, animals which are chordates or vertebrates. Okay, human beings show a closed circulatory system. So what exactly is a closed circulatory system? See, there is a heart present. Okay, the heart pumps a liquid or a fluid which is called as blood, and that blood travels through the blood vessels to all the parts of the body. Okay, the blood vessels are of different types: arteries, veins, capillaries. And what happens is these blood vessels carry the blood to all the different parts of the body. Okay, they give away the essential things which the blood carries, for example nutrients or oxygen, and in return they take all the wastes of the cells, and again that blood comes back to the heart through blood vessels. All this is happening in a closed circuit. Okay, the blood is not flowing freely inside the body, it is flowing through the heart, through the vessels, and again it is coming back through the vessels and back into the heart. For example, in our case, in human beings, the heart is pumping. Okay, the oxygenated blood is going through the arteries. The oxygenated blood delivers the nutrients and the oxygen. Okay, and it collects the carbon dioxide and the wastes, and that blood is brought by veins back to the heart. So I hope you are getting this point. In a closed system, everything is happening inside a closed circuit. Okay, now let me show a diagram over here which shows how a closed circulatory system is present. Okay, so just imagine this to be the heart. Okay, and these are the two vessels of the heart. Correct, these are the two branches of the heart. This is one branch, this is another branch. Correct, and let us assume these are the tissue or the cells which are present, to which the heart is delivering the blood. Okay, now what happens is, suppose if this branch or this vessel, okay, it is carrying the oxygenated blood. So normally arteries carry the oxygenated blood. The arteries get further divided into smaller vessels called arterioles, and arterioles get further divided into the smallest vessels which are called as capillaries. So just imagine these are the capillaries. Okay, so these capillaries, if you see, they are flowing or they are moving on top of the cells. Okay, so what happens is, as this blood goes through these vessels and it reaches the capillaries, now these capillaries are very thin walled. So what happens is, the blood is not directly coming in contact with these cells. See, a tissue is made up of cells, correct? So if you want, over here I will just draw a diagram of a tissue. Okay, so these are the cells which are present and they are making up this entire tissue. Now this space which is present between the cells, okay, it is called as interstitial space. So interstitial space is a space which is present between the cells in a tissue. Okay, and this space is normally filled with a liquid or a fluid called as interstitial fluid. Okay, so this interstitial fluid is basically holding all the cells together in the tissue. Okay, this is also called as lymph. Sometimes this interstitial fluid is also called as lymph. So now what happens is, now this blood which is flowing through the arteries, these arteries now divide into capillaries, and what happens is, the walls of the capillaries are so thin that when the blood flows through those capillaries, the things which are important, for example oxygen or nutrients like glucose, amino acids, fatty acid, glycerol, all these nutrients are forced out of the capillaries. The blood is not going into the cells, blood is not even touching the cells. Okay, so just imagine over here in this diagram, if this is a capillary which is there, then what happens is, in this capillary whatever important things are present, they will get diffused out. Okay, there are very small, the capillary is very thin, and because of that all the important things diffuse out from the capillaries and they go into the interstitial fluid. And what happens is this interstitial fluid then provides the cells with all the nutrients. Similarly, the cells are also producing waste, they are also producing carbon dioxide, so that is also released into the interstitial fluid. And the interstitial fluid, what it does is it returns all those materials back to the vessel. So the blood is not coming in contact with the cells. There is exchange of materials between the blood vessel and the interstitial fluid, and because of that the cells are getting things which they want and they are giving away the things which they don't want. Okay, so that exchange is happening over in this area. And then finally what happens is, when this blood receives all the things which are not needed by the cells, okay, and it is also the blood which doesn't have oxygen, that blood then again travels back through veins and into the heart. So in this entire circuit, is the blood going outside the vessels or the heart? No, it is always present inside the heart or the vessels. It is not even going and physically meeting the cells. So this system is called as a closed circulatory system, in which the heart and the vessels are continuously connected, and inside that circuit the blood is flowing. Is this clear? Okay, I hope this concept is clear. I hope everyone now understands what interstitial space is. Interstitial space is a space between the cells present in a tissue. They are filled with fluid, and the function of that fluid is to basically nourish the cells. How will they nourish the cells? By nutrients obtained from the blood. Similarly, the waste produced by the cell will again be collected by the interstitial fluid and they will be given to the blood. This exchange is happening between the blood capillaries and the interstitial fluid. Okay, and the exchange is possible because capillaries are very thin walled. Is this clear? So I hope this concept of a closed circulatory system is clear. Now what happens in an open circulatory system? Okay, so now we have seen what a closed circulatory system is. Let us see what is an open circulatory system. Now an open circulatory system also has a heart. It has a single vessel. So what the heart does is, the heart pumps the blood goes through the vessel, and then from the vessel the blood is released into the entire body. Okay, so normally this open circulatory system is present in non-chordates. Okay, for example, you can talk of cockroach. Most of the arthropoda, phylum arthropoda members, they have an open circulatory system. So what happens here is, the blood is not flowing through a closed circuit. So if I want to draw a diagram for open circulatory system, this will be the heart, correct? This will be one vessel. Okay, this will be another vessel, and what is happening is, the blood is released directly into the tissue or the cells. So these are your cells, correct? So this blood is now freely present surrounding the tissue or the cells. So it is not flowing in a closed circuit. And what happens is, this blood again then enters the heart. Okay, there are small openings in the heart through which the blood will enter back again. But what is important over here is that in this entire system, the circuit is not closed. Okay, it is not flowing only through the vessels and the heart. Here the blood is physically coming in contact with the cells. So all these dotted regions which I am drawing, that is actually the blood. Okay, now the blood in an open circulatory system is called as hemocoel. Okay, so the word is not blood, so I'm sorry, it is called as hemolymph. Okay, so the blood is called as hemolymph. Now why is it called as hemolymph? Because very simple, hemo means anything related to blood is called as hemo, because heme is the protein present in blood, so that is hemo. And why hemolymph? Because you know that the cells are surrounded by interstitial space. Interstitial space has interstitial fluid which is also called as lymph. So in animals having open circulatory system, what is happening is, the blood is mixing with the interstitial fluid or blood is mixing with the lymph. So that mixture is called as hemolymph. Okay, I'm going to explain this with the help of a diagram later on, but please understand right now that in an open circulatory system, the blood is not restricted only to the heart and the vessels. It is freely flowing in the body cavity. And that is why the body cavity of such animals or such organisms having an open circulatory system, that body cavity is also called as hemocoel. Coelom is the body cavity. Since in that body cavity blood is freely flowing, it is called as hemocoel. So I hope these words are clear. Why is the fluid in the circulatory system of open circulatory system called as hemolymph? What is hemocoel? Okay, and what is the difference? So I hope the main difference between open and closed circulatory system is clear. In the closed circulatory system, everything is occurring in the closed circuit. Blood is only going to pass through that circuit, nowhere else. It is not going to physically touch the cells in closed circulatory system. Whereas in the open circulatory system, the heart is there, one vessel is there, but after that the vessel releases the liquid freely into the body cavity, which is called hemocoel, and that is why the blood or the fluid mixes with the lymph or the interstitial fluid of the cells, and that mixture is called hemolymph. So blood in open circulatory system is also called as hemolymph. Okay, is this clear? Now let us take a look at the two examples of organisms showing these systems. Okay, so if you see over here, I have sketched two diagrams. This left hand side diagram is that of a cockroach. Now cockroach shows open circulatory system, and the diagram to the right is of earthworm, which shows a closed circulatory system. Okay, now first of all, let us see this diagram on the left of the cockroach. These blue colored things which I have drawn, they are the chambers of the heart. Okay, a cockroach has a single heart, but they have many chambers. They have 12 to 13 chambers. So if you actually count them, they might not be 12 or 13 in number. I have restriction of space, so I have drawn lesser chambers. So this is basically your heart, and all these hearts are connected by a single vessel. Okay, so what is going to happen is these hearts are going to pump the liquid, the hemolymph. Okay, and what is going to happen is that hemolymph, so these blue colored hearts are going to pump the hemolymph or the blood into this body cavity. This entire area is the body cavity, which is called hemocoel. So you can see that the hemolymph or the blood is freely flowing into the body. It is not going through the vessels. It has just been passed from the blood, and there is one single vessel which connects all these hearts chambers, and that is it. Now what happens is, now all the cells are kind of floating in that hemolymph. How will the heart get the hemolymph back? So very simple. Over here you can see these yellow colored structures. These are called as alary muscles. Okay, and what is the function of alary muscles? Now these muscles are present in cockroach. So these muscles basically contract and relax the hemocoel. Okay, so these muscles basically contract and relax this cavity which is present, and because of contraction and relaxation of the body cavity, the hemolymph keeps on flowing everywhere. It is not stationary, and when it flows everywhere, what happens is, if you can see in this diagram, inside each chamber of the heart I have drawn these green dots which are present, and these dots, if you can see, these dots are called as ostia, and ostia or the openings, they will collect the blood which comes to them. Why is the blood coming to the ostia? That is because of these muscles which are contracting and relaxing the body cavity, and because of that the hemolymph is moving everywhere. So obviously it will again come back to the heart, and the heart has openings called ostia, and through that ostia the hemolymph will again go inside, again the heart will pump, again it will be freely flowing inside the body. So this is an example of open circulatory system. So organisms showing open circulatory system, they have hemolymph throughout their body. It is like their entire body is filled with hemolymph. I hope this is clear. Okay, so this example is cockroach, that is of the open circulatory system. Now let us come to this closed circulatory system, the diagram on the right. So here I have shown the diagram of an earthworm. Okay, now earthworm is also a non-chordate, but it is one of those few non-chordates which has got a closed circulatory system, because normally non-chordates have an open circulatory system. Higher the organism, more advanced the organism, then it has the chance of getting a closed circulatory system. Normally animals or organisms which are less advanced, they have open circulatory system. But now if you see over here in the earthworm, which is an example of closed circulatory system, then you can see that I have not drawn the entire circuit. There is this one vessel which is going, so this is the dorsal surface, so I'll just label. So this surface is the dorsal surface or the back side of the earthworm, and this side is the front or the ventral side. Okay, and this vessel which is carrying, so now the fluid is called as blood. In closed circulatory system, the fluid is not called hemolymph, it is called blood, because the fluid does not mix with lymph. Please remember, in open circulatory system the fluid is called hemolymph because the blood mixes with the interstitial fluid. Okay, so all these cells which will be present in the cockroach, they will be having interstitial fluid, and that will be mixing with the blood. That is why the blood is called hemolymph. Here blood is not going to mix, it is only going to flow through these vessels, and that is why it is called blood. Anyway, this is called as the dorsal blood vessel. Okay, and similarly this vessel which is flowing is called as the ventral blood vessel. Okay, obviously since it is an earthworm, the circulatory system will not be as advanced as human beings, but still it is closed. Now where are the hearts? Now these structures which you see, these are called as hearts. Okay, so earthworm has many hearts. Please remember, it is not a very advanced organism, so for pumping they have these hearts which are present laterally. Okay, and these hearts will pump blood, and the blood will go through the dorsal and the ventral vessels. And again the same principle which I told you, the blood is not going to touch the cells, the blood is going to pass through the vessels, and when they come in contact with the cells or tissues, the important things which need to be given, they will be diffused, they will be transported out, and things which are not needed by cells, they will be taken in, but the blood is going to flow through these vessels and the heart only. So the blood is not flowing through the entire earthworm in the coelom. So these empty spaces which are present in that, blood is not present. The blood is only flowing through a closed system. That is why it is an example of closed circulatory system. Okay, so I hope these two examples are clear. Okay, so I hope the difference between the closed circulatory system and open circulatory system is clear. In general, please remember, less developed organism or less advanced organisms have an open circulatory system. Highly developed organisms have a closed circulatory system. Okay, and the fluid in a closed circulatory system is normally called as blood, whereas fluid in an open circulatory system is called as hemolymph. Okay, I have already told you the reason. So that's the end of this lecture, friends. And if you like the lecture, please leave a like below. Okay, and if you still haven't subscribed to my channel, you can click on the icon to your right. Okay, thanks a lot.